How can we explain the Ukraine war with two mountain ranges? Now, first of all, I want to make this absolutely clear that I have no intention of making this political. This is strictly for educational purposes. And can you explain an entire conflict and all of its nuances and secondary causalities through the prism of two mountain ranges? No, of course you can't. But with most conflicts, you can actually do a fairly good job, and this one is no exception. Now, the Ukraine war, which has now been going on for about 4 years, it's now been going on for longer than the First World War. There's various different rationalizations for any conflict, and very often there are primary causalities and there are secondary causalities. And what really irritates me is the fact that the news and the media generally tends to focus predominantly on secondary causalities. Now, most conflicts throughout history have generally centered around geology and geography, and geography is largely an extension of geology, not in totality, but in a lot of ways it is. River systems, mountain ranges, and wars happen for all sorts of different reasons, but you'd be surprised how often it wraps around geography and geology, and this is no exception. Now, we have two mountain ranges. This one here is the Carpathian mountain range, very, very, very large mountain range east of the Swiss Alps, and here we have the Ural Mountains. Now, I'm going to focus immediately on the Carpathian Mountains because this is the one that is precluded from the news, and it's the one that most of you probably haven't even heard of evoked even once in the context of the Ukraine war. Now, Russia, since the fall of the Soviet Union, and in fact going back profoundly longer than that, has had a cultural insecurity about choke points. And the reason as to why it has a cultural insecurity about choke points is because it's a really, really, really big country, and for the last 300 years they keep being invaded. So the Swedes have invaded in the 18th century, Napoleon invaded in the 19th century, the Germans invaded in the 20th century, and if we want to latch on the Turks and the French and the British and the Crimean War as well, they've also been invaded through that corridor as well. And all of the time, with the exception of the Crimean War, it's always been through this choke point here, which is this large area of flat land, which starts here in sort of like Poland, just north of the Carpathian Mountains, and we call this the North European plain. Now, various different authors and various different commentators brought this up in advance of the Ukraine war, so this is not overly subjective. There were people who were commentating on this before the war even started. Characters like Tim Marshall, characters like Peter Zion were sort of waving flags about this reality before the conflict even started. So within the circles of geopolitics, this is fairly common knowledge. So the Russians have always been insecure about this area of flat land, largely because they were always invaded through it roughly every 100 years. So Russia, even before the Ukraine war, had one of the largest militaries in the world, but also appreciate that Russia is the largest country in the world by some significant margin. It's about 6 million square miles of contiguous landmass. And when you have a country that's that big, it doesn't really matter how big your military is because you cannot conceivably defend your entire border irrespective of whether or not you've got 1 million men holding weapons. So what you need to rely on from a geographical and geostrategic perspective is rely on choke points. And choke points are characterized by one of two things, or sometimes one of three things. Sometimes deserts are involved as well, but usually large river systems, which are barriers to militaries crossing them, and mountain ranges, which means that you need to focus on choke points. And choke points in this context are north and south of the Carpathian Mountains, which are profoundly easier to defend in concentration than defending an entire massive flat border. So what the MO has always been since the collapse of the Soviet Union and in the build-up to the years preceding the Soviet Union has always been controlling this area as the entrance to the North European plain, which has largely been the motivation for invading Ukraine and what would have later mutated into the Baltics and probably Poland as well. Now, the reason why the Ural Mountains are so important is because Russia's size has always been an advantage. It has always been a geostrategic advantage, whether that be against Napoleon, whether that be against the Germans. The Russians have always had the advantage to sort of trade space for time. So they can just withdraw into their sort of hinterland, their massive country, and then the supply lines of the invading country become so ridiculously long that they end up capitulating, usually as a result of something like winter, because it gets very, very cold in Russia. Now, Russia's real advantage during the Second World War is the fact that the Germans invaded as far as the Volga River, which is sort of around this area here, but Russia had the advantage of being able to move its entire industrial base east of the Ural Mountains, right? That was the advantage. And of course, in the 20th century, it was a big advantage because nobody can blow things up on the east side of the Ural Mountains because weapons hadn't advanced that much. But of course, we're not in the 20th century anymore. Given the advancements in things like ballistic missiles, guided missiles, and drone technology, that means that the Ural Mountains are no longer the fortress that they once were, which means that the war was more or less justified and has largely been planned. Of course, there are secondary reasons for it as well, given sort of warm water ports around the Black Sea in Sevastopol and places like this. But mainly it's been rationalised by trying to close or control choke points north and south of the Carpathian Mountains. And the reason as to why Russia is in a little bit of an issue right now is probably because they have relied tremendously historically on the Ural Mountains, which now is not the barrier that it once was.